All right. This is our presentation on creating confidence through light. My name is Alex Tenna.
I'm Evelyn Villasenor.
I'm Meredith Corbett.
And I'm Sandra Cruz.
So for our project, a few of the main goals were to provide lighting design to customers and restaurant employees for a new sushi restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina. We wanted it to be catered to young professionals, and the space's lighting would be designed to include 3 main dining spaces, men's and women's bathrooms. All right, and the second goal was to create lighting that fits the restaurant's modern and edgy design, but we also wanted to make sure it was still unique, fun, and vibrant. And again, we wanted it to appeal to young professionals. Some of the strategies that we decided to use in the restaurant were to kind of emulate an upscale downtown loft. It would make the space feel inviting, strong, comforting, and intimate. The lighting would feel seamless and it would flow naturally into other dining spaces. The intention being to use a lot of existing natural light from windows, coupled with artificial lighting that illuminates tables, bar counter surfaces, and other areas throughout the space. Some of the tactics that we used were Edison bulbs all throughout the restaurant. So those came in shape of pendant lights along the bar and some chandeliers over the larger tables. We also had some metal pendant lights adorning the ceiling and walls, and windows along the front entrance and blinds to help reduce the amount of sunlight when needed. The overall concept of the space was to create a space that is the physical embodiment of confidence. Here are some of our inspiration images, and of course you can see the Edison bulbs, warm tones mixed with cooler tones. So we've got copper and navy blue. We've got some shininess and some dullness in the fabrics, so you can see how those would play into the materials.
For layer 1, entering upon the sushi bar, the first lighting elements visible to the customer's eye will be the ones hanging on the horizontally above the large tables. Next, we would see the lights directly above the bar seating area. As hungry patrons continue to walk, they continue to come across the second and third dining spaces. Here we have light fixtures maintain their horizontal structure and seamless carry on through the space. And then the third dining space, one of the ones that you'll notice, there is accent lighting on the west wall. There will be uplighting throughout the dining spaces, the wine cellar, and the cabinets. And finally, should the customers need to use the restroom, we would see that accent lighting on either side of the bathroom sink, as well as uplighting on the ceiling.
So for layer 2, the chandelier fixture should exude luxury, while shorter, more purposeful lighting would be put in to instill confidence. Although the lighting would be targeted towards young professionals, the environment would still be inviting to all customers. The softer, more comfortable and casual lights for the small and large group seating would promote an intimate dining experience, while the brighter, more task-oriented lights over the 2 bar areas would encourage an energetic and vibrant conversation. So we really wanted to make sure that this entire space was inclusive to all people, and the overall light experience given to the customers shouldn't distract them, but rather spark intrigue and leave them wanting more from the entire restaurant.
Layer 3, in accordance with the light map, these elevations are drawn to accentuate the light fixtures in certain areas of the space. As seen in the 4 images on the right, the lights we plan to use are wall sconces, pendant lights, and chandeliers. The elevations show where each of them will hang and how they will brighten up the space. These light sources accentuate their respective spots by highlighting the purpose of each type of seating area. For example, the pendant lights above the bar tell the customer that this spot is supposed to be brightly illuminated because it is a workspace for the bartender. It also allows clarity for people trying to meet new friends and have more energetic interactions.
Layer 4. Daylight brings interior spaces to life. Whether or not one intentionally utilizes natural lighting, the impact it makes within a design can change our work drastically. For example, natural lighting can play a role in how you see and navigate a building or a pathway within the building. It's imperative to see how daylight can coordinate with a building and its bigger location. As designers, it is important to understand this because we can use it to our advantage in our work. It is also important to understand the contrasting elements that come from shadow so we can make innovate in complex spaces. In other words, by including light on this particular spot, we allow it to become the focal point of this area. It gives purpose and creates movement through light.
All right, for layer 5, light distribution dining space number 1, you can see some of the fixtures that are going to be in the space, and these fixtures fall in line with our design aesthetic in that they fit the industrial modern motif we're attempting to achieve. So through means of upscale downtown loft lighting, these are going to fit the aesthetic. As displayed in the drawing above, these light fixtures show a unique industrial style with an edgy twist. This is what makes them fall under the modernity of an upscale downtown loft. These light fixtures would be large chandeliers that accentuate the bigger dining spaces.
For layer 5, light distribution dining space number 2, having the right lighting and light fixtures in the space is very important to set the mood for the client's experience. We chose light fixtures to provide the right amount of light to the dining space. We don't want to have extremely lit up place for a good amount of it. These fixtures will determine the edgy, modern, industrial look that we strive for, and they have a perfectly acute accumulate the dining area.
Layer 5, light distribution dining space number 3. These light fixtures are in line with the edgy modern industrial style that go with our upscale downtown loft. These light fixtures are small ceiling light fixtures that are pendants and small chandeliers. These light fixtures are placed over the small dining spaces, which give each booth an individual light that helps accentuate each individual space to distribute light evenly in that particular space. The light fixtures help the individual spaces feel more intimate and have more modern look and style to them.
Layer 5, light distribution restrooms. We chose this particular light fixtures in order to accentuate the modern industrial look that the restaurant gives itself. The industrial look gives it a unique appearance, and the way that the light fixtures position gives off perfect visibility within the space. Lighting fixtures are just as important as the light they give off because you want to consider what kind of light bulbs to use, like warm or cool for that space.
So looking into Luminaire sustainability, we've got some LEED and WELL certifications that we're going to try to aim for. For the first one, right off the LEED website, you've got at least 90% of individual occupant spaces provide individual lighting controls that enable occupants to adjust the lighting to suit their individual tasks and preferences with at least 3 lighting levels or screens, on, off, mid-level. So in order to do this, we need mid-level being about 30 to 70% of maximum luminance, not accounting for daylight in the space. So there have to be 3 lighting levels is what that means. We have to have wall lighting with its own controls. The switches and controls must be in the same area as the controlled luminaires. So although this is directed more towards offices, I think our restaurant could definitely get some of the perks of this and a lot of benefits from this in the space. So that coupled with WELL certifications and how they talk a lot about the environment playing a big role in how people feel in a space. Not only will it make customers more comfortable in the space by giving them control, but it will simultaneously mimic natural daylight throughout the day. And below you can see some of the LO8 lights, the fixtures in the actual spaces above the booths, and some of the light switches that we could use.
Luminaire calculations. Luminance equals luminum times LLF times CU divided by area. The LLF stands for light loss factor. CU stands for the coefficient of utilization. Washer ambient coefficient of utilization equals 75%. The 10 FC equals luminance times 0.85 times 0.75 divided by 2,897.73 equals luminance equals 45,454.5, and then you divide that by 742 and you get 61.
So for the reflected ceiling plan, so as you can see, we have recessed downlighting throughout all the dining spaces, including the restrooms, as well as the larger chandelier, which accommodates the larger table. And then you continue to have small pendant lights, as well as a much smaller chandelier on some of the smaller tables, as well as lighting sconces in the restrooms on either side of the mirror.
Electric lighting plan. So for this one, we did electrical and also added the zones. We have 7 different zones. So zone 1, it will be the big dining room. Zone 2 will be another dining area. Zone 3 is another dining area. Zone 4 is a bathroom. Zone 5 is a bar area. Zone 6 is a sushi bar. Zone 7 is a restroom. Also, we have the legend on the right corner, the bottom, with the switch, the dimmer, the different lighting fixtures we have.
For the elevations, to the left, we see the elevation for the dining space number 3, and to the right, we see the elevation of the dining space number 2. In each elevation, we can see the light fixtures. In the elevation to the left, we see small chandelier lighting for the booths, and for the elevation on the right, we see pendant lightings.
So for the rendering draft of dining area 1, it's visible that the lighting choices have purpose, directionality, and especially character. The warm tones in the materials show an effortless tie to nature through color and material type. You're going to see these fixtures throughout the space, but over here above the bar, they definitely give a more task-oriented light.
So for the render draft dining area 2, during the daytime, the main light source is daylighting, as you can see in this image. But at night, or when it's cloudy outside, the smaller chandelier and the pendant lights will act as the main source of lighting to light up the tables when the customers are in the second dining space.
For the rendered draft dining area number 3, here we see that the pendant light and chandeliers make the space feel open yet intimate. The accent lighting on the concrete walls highlight the concrete wall, making it a true accent wall. The large wall has plenty of room to put up wall art and decor, which gives some interest to the space and gives customers something interesting to look at.
Rendering draft the restroom. We chose a sconce lighting fixture for this bathroom. It gives a modern look to the space, and with ambient lighting, it also allows people to navigate safely, also sets the mood and general tone of the room as well.
So here is the Luminaire schedule, where you can clearly see outlined all of the symbols, images of examples of lights that we would use in the space. Of course, you've got the manufacturer and catalog numbers, specification styles where you can see some of them are certified through LEED or Energy Star. You've got color, temperature, and voltage, and the location where you can see that some are able to be used in bathrooms or in kitchen areas where others aren't, and that gives them purpose. Thank you. This concludes our presentation on how we decided to make the sushi bar a comfortable and confident place.